Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So, a CIA trainee has filed a lawsuit against the agency for ignoring her claims of sexual assault and then retaliating against her for reporting these allegations to Congress. The plaintiff, who's referred to only as Jane Doe, says that she was attacked on July 13th of 2022. This happened at CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia. The woman is apparently hard of hearing, and she says that a male trainee snuck up behind her. She was in the stairwell, and he wrapped a scarf around her neck, and he started to choke her with it. Then she said he made lewd comments, and then he tried to forcibly kiss her on the mouth. The legal complaint says that she fought him off, she started to run, and then he tried to wrap the scarf around her neck again. She then got away from him again. He followed her to her office, grabbed her, and forcibly kissed her. An assault by anyone's standards, right? Except for maybe a rapist. Hours later, he texted her writing, quote, "You good?" And then she reports that prior to the attack, he sent her numerous obscene messages. So he had been already harassing her, stalking her prior to this attack. Well, when Jane Doe reported this assault, she was warned that, quote, reporting the attack to any law enforcement organization or receiving necessary mental health care would cause her to suffer negative career impacts at CIA, force her to consider a different career, and even make her a counterintelligence threat. The CIA eventually told Doe, oh, this wasn't really an assault. This doesn't violate our CIA policy. And then she was warned again that if she reported her allegations to any authorities, to the police, she, quote, must protect her and her assailant's CIA affiliation or else commit a potentially career-ending security violation. Jane Doe's lawsuit also alleges, quote, CIA specifically ordered plaintiff to protect the secret of her and her assailant's affiliation with the agency. CIA also ordered plaintiff not to provide law enforcement with the names of any witnesses to her assault without the agency's express permission. But her lawsuit says there is no basis for these demands. It states, quote, information may never be classified to conceal crimes or to prevent embarrassment to a federal government agency. No exceptions to these laws exist that exempt CIA. And the victim repeatedly told her superiors, I don't feel safe. She told them in writing, quote, I have had to devise my own safety plan. So she had other people helping her, presumably walking her to her vehicle or whatever. So ultimately, the victim went to the authorities. She said, screw this, you guys aren't going to help me. You're not going to protect me. I am going to report it. So she reported it at the end of 2022, and her attacker, guess what, was convicted of assault and battery. Yet even after the conviction of this guy, the CIA warned her that, quote, there would be consequences if she spoke with the House committee that was investigating sexual assaults within the CIA. Once again, she chose to ignore these warnings. Luckily, good for her. And she did testify before the House Select Committee that had been established. For that, she was retaliated against with what she claims to be investigations into false allegations. They tried to say that she committed acts of, quote, time and attendance fraud. And Jane Doe also says that the CIA downgraded her performance evaluation. So she was a great employee until she reported this stuff, and then she wasn't. And they lied, and they tried to scare her by telling her that the Associated Press was planning to print her name in a story about the attacker. So they said, oh, you might not want to talk because they're going to put your name in there. But her attorney spoke with the AP and they confirmed they never did that. They repeatedly assured the CIA the total opposite. They said they would never print the name of a sexual assault victim unless that victim had given them permission. And here's the most horrific part of the story. I mean, I shouldn't say that. The most horrific part is that she was assaulted. But close second is that this convicted assaulter, is still working for the CIA. He still holds a security clearance. Now, the CIA maintains they handled everything by the book. But this woman, like I mentioned, she is far from the only CIA sexual assault victim who's been ignored, silenced, retaliated against. In fact, in May of this year, The Intercept had published an article about allegations of dozens of other female CIA employees who had filed appeals with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission after they had their claims of assault swept under the rug. So the EEOC, that is the office within the CIA that's responsible for investigating all of this stuff and then adjudicating it, getting rid of these people. Well, The Intercept found they had repeatedly overturned rulings, they had repeatedly intimidated victims, and they had allowed allegations to expire because they have a 45-day statute of limitations. Complete and utter bullshit. The Washington, D.C. discrimination and harassment attorney told The Intercept, quote, "In the intelligence community, victims of sexual harassment face a constant concern of the agency revoking their security clearance or abandoning them. These are mostly women. They are overseas. They are undercover. They are not using their real names. They are alone and isolated and don't have family or friends with them. It's easy for managers to threaten and intimidate in these kinds of situations." And then another attorney representing 3 alleged victims says that the CIA's Office of Equal Employment Opportunity, that OEEC or whatever, I forget. Anyway, whatever their acronym is, he said that it has, quote, "been a mechanism for deflection and interference." And then one woman who spoke with this congressional committee said that 54 CIA employees or contractors have been sexually assaulted or harassed over the past 10 years. And all of their cases have been improperly handled. All of them. Not like, there's a few exceptions to the rule. No, all of them. And then the story gets even worse because the CIA isn't the only intelligence agency here in the US with this issue. Internal FBI documents reveal that at least 665 employees quit between 2004 and 2020 to avoid sexual misconduct investigations and allegations. Let me repeat that. 665 accused predators quit rather than be investigated. And of those 665, 45 were senior executives. So that is the FBI's highest ranking officials. So the question is, how many more are unreported, right? We know that sexual assault is an unreported or at least underreported crime across the board in the entire world because the victims are often harassed and meant to feel shamed and embarrassed when the opposite should be the case. The predator should be the one who should be embarrassed and shamed in public. And also, how many women are not signing up? How many women are choosing another line of work because they fear not being protected if they're assaulted in these male-dominant fields? Right? I know it happens in the military too. We are missing out as a country. These women's lives are forever altered, the ones who are assaulted, and our country is suffering as well. If we can't recruit female agents, we are losing very valuable weapons against threats to the United States and elsewhere. There are, I'm sure, situations where a woman is needed as an agent, as a spy, that only she can get close to a target or a source. And yet, by these agencies deflecting and covering for these monsters, for these predators, they are telling women, you are not welcome. You should not come here, because if you are harmed, if you are assaulted, we're not going to help you. We're not there for you. We will not have your back. So if nothing else, if you don't care about sexual assault, care about national security, care about international security. If that's the only thing you care about, then you should care about this issue. So anyway, guys, I thought this was very chilling, very disturbing. I wanted to share it with you because, yeah, there's a lot of rot in this country. There's a lot of good people who work for the CIA, a lot of good people in the FBI and in the military. I think they are the majority, but, these rotten apples do end up spoiling the bunch. So we have to get rid of them. We have to weed them out. We have to demand that these agencies hold them accountable. Anyway, I will let you know if I hear any more on this matter. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please donate if you possibly can. Links are below in the description box on YouTube and on the podcast. Love you all. Take care. I will talk with you soon.